Hey guys, how are you? Got a coffee? Go make a coffee. I'll wait for you. So, did I clickbait title this one? What are you after? Hacks, shortcuts, secrets, or musicality? I got a student and he came to me the other day and he said he's got a buddy that plays. Of course, we all do. And or an uncle. It's always going to refute anything I tell a student. And he said, you don't got to learn the five boxes of the pentatonic. You just know your minor, you go down 3 frets, and you got major. Okay, yeah. There's some use to that, Minor becomes major. It doesn't help you hit the right notes. They both work. We do it. Clapton does it. It does have utility, but you don't really understand them, what you're doing. You don't understand in the minor, that you've got the root, the flat third, fourth, fifth, flat seven, and when it's major, using this box, it's root, second, major, third, right? Fifth, sixth. You should know the parallel of the major. So if this is minor, you want to know your major. Or you could go, right? Different ways to transverse the neck. But the point is the scale degrees. You want to know that to see chord tones, things like that. Here's another one. He said, the box up here, the church box, the Albert King box. Yeah, we teachers, we use that. We say that. We say, hey man, up here in A, right here you've got your church box, steeple. It works, and you can improvise with it and have some fun, but you're not really thinking about, again, note choices. That, okay, in A, this is A, this is the flat 7, G, this is E, fifth, flat third. Now there's use of those notes, right? It's not just a shape, right? Someone answered in one of the big not YouTube, Facebook groups. If I don't know my fretboard, do I have to memorize it? And what else can I do? And people just said patterns. Yeah, everything ultimately is a pattern, even something that doesn't seem like it. It's like saying, well, if I do this, this isn't a chord, right? If I just put my finger, everything's a chord. Everything can be analyzed. So everything you think is not a pattern is a pattern. But to only learn from the idea that something is a pattern leads to mechanical, cold, kind of sterile phrases, right? Because you're not thinking the note over the chord and the pitch and the tone. You're just thinking how the shape looks, right? So what you want to go with more, I made some notes over here. I'm just going to peep down. Let's talk about the modes too, right? Everybody, one, modal mayhem, right? The craziness of the modes, they're so difficult. They're not, if you really understand them. So again, the conventional way of let's do C major up here. And, you run your C major scale and it's over a C, sorry. It's over a C major chord. If you start on D, we'll play the same notes. You've got Dorian, and you play it over D minor chord. Okay, it's great if you know your C major scale, but what's even better is knowing the scale steps and the scale degrees of a D Dorian scale. That it's root, second, flat third, it's a minor scale, fourth, fifth, natural six, flat 7, 1. And D Dorian, D, E, F. Every scale is alphabetical, right? Like sometimes I freak out about that when we're doing a scale and it's like, what's the next note? And it's E major. Or you could say, and you're stumbling over the next note. Just say F if you don't know the key. We know it's an F. That's how scales work. But you then realize that E has F sharp, we'll get to how you realize that. And, so there you go. We need a step in the major scale, right? Whole, half. So, okay, so, you go to E Phrygian and you say, oh, so if I just play C major, I'm playing E Phrygian. Yes, except C is not a great note, really, in E Phrygian. What are the great notes? E, B, F. Why? Because that's the Phrygian tone, flat second. Okay? Character, right? The character of the mode you're bringing out because you know the pitches and you know the scale degrees. So, what do you do to develop musicality versus hacks? You jam with others, of course. You learn your fretboard and you study some theoretical concepts that you apply. So, knowing the circle of fifths, huge, right? Huge. And not as a mnemonic, not Father Charles goes freaking, circle of fifths is fifths, right? You know your power chord. Fifth. Go up a step, you got the next set. Up, up. Here's all 7 keys. Here's the flats. Okay, that was up a fifth. Each time you go up a fifth, you're adding a sharp. So nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, C sharp. Flats, C has nothing. F, 1, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat. 7 flats. Yuck. But hey, it's doable. It's doable when you see that shape and you see the interval, right? The guitar's tuned in fourths. So you say, oh man, okay, A to D, A to D. So if I A to D, C to F, D to G, G to C, except for a little G and B, right? We've got thirds there, right? Going off on those little tangents. What else? I mean, that's really it. Strive to play lyrically, to play musically, right? You don't have to go to college or university and get a degree in guitar or music, but it's a mindset. That popular phrase right now. It's an awareness of it's choices, right? Not just frets, numbers, strings. The math of music, right? It's the music of music. Is that note a sound you're liking, and where should it go, right? Melodic flow, melodic connection. I think I'll leave it there. I will say some of my videos have some good views, and I appreciate that. Of course, I haven't run the specs on it, but I know that, given my low sub rate versus the views, it'd be great if more of you could sub and ask away some questions. Happy to interact with you, and like the video. Appreciate it, guys. See you on the next one.